It's been a while since I did a mobility video, and I thought I'd show you what some of the stuff that I've been doing lately that's been helping me out a lot. And in the case of the squats, or because I have been having trouble with my elbow, I've been doing a lot of front squats. And in this case, what I've been doing to prep is this external rotation tabletop stretch. Kind of my go-to stretches. It's something that I actually forgot about or haven't been using for a while. And kind of how I remembered, because there's so much mobility stuff out there, right? And sometimes you can spend so much time trying to get mobile and stretch. It takes so much time. And I was like playing some tower defense game on my phone. I was in my bed. I decided to do this stretch at home. And I forgot how effective it is. So as I get more flexible, what I try to do is I try to drive my heel up and bring my foot up higher. And that way I can get more than my external rotators of my piriformis and glutes. But I can also get my adductors and inner thigh muscles. And then after spending a minute or two there, I'll go and get into this half squat, lunge, step up position, essentially creating half of a squat and mimicking the same position I'm going to be in. This is my right side, my stiffer side when it comes down to going into the hole. And what I'm trying to do is just get that right position with the ankle, keeping my foot flat on the platform that I'm using, and then pushing my knee forward. And then kind of what I was going to say is that when I was playing my tower defense game on my iPhone, what happened was I did the stretch for like 5 minutes, hell of a long time. But luckily I was distracted. After I got out of position and tested my squat, it's crazy how much my knee went out and how much more torque I got out of my hip. I have to say that, you know, this is probably one of the best bang for buck movements you can do. If you spend 5 minutes on each side, it's really, really effective. You know, I mean, I just haven't done this in a really long time, and I don't even know why I forgot to do it. I think probably, actually I just answered that question right now, is I haven't been squatting a whole lot, so I haven't had a need to really mobilize too much. And what I decided to do today in this particular squat session is that I tried to focus on going a little bit lower, making sure that I'm getting well below parallel. So again, it's important that, you know, when you get into position, it's good to have your knee bent a lot, because sometimes people's hips are very tight and it can kind of put too much pressure on the knee. One thing that's also very effective too is that you contract the glute as you're kind of pressing in and then relax it. You can contract the glute and relax it, because that will allow for the tissue to essentially release much better, and I found it to be very effective. And then I do a test. You can see how I'm getting pretty low. Usually I can't get down there without a significant amount of effort, and because I just did that stretch, it allowed me to get into a better position. And the next thing that I do after that, when I do my front squats, is I try to make sure that I'm getting down in the hole correctly. So sometimes what I'll do is I'll pause, like you see here, and I'm pausing because I'm trying to essentially find the right position. With light weights, it can be kind of tricky, because a lot of the time, if the weight's light, you can get away with going forward, but when the weight's heavy, you can't go too far forward. So I'm essentially just trying to find out where my restriction is, and I'm finding that my knees wind to buckle a little bit. And you can see how I'm doing these half reps, kind of partials, to make sure that I keep good thoracic extension. And I felt that I needed to kind of work on my ankles a little bit. So what you're going to see next is an ankle distraction stretch. Again, taken from the mobility WOD. One of these things that sometimes I feel is cumbersome to set up, and it's kind of annoying to set up. But if you want to get good at ass to grass squatting, or getting really low into a squat, or even front squats, overhead squats, especially for Olympic lifting, it's important that you are able to get good dorsiflexion. Even though Olympic weightlifting shoes do help you get that dorsiflexion, kind of cheat your way there, the problem is it will lead to knee problems, and then you'll still get thrown off on the balls of your feet if your ankles are very stiff and you have trouble using your hips. So what this band does behind me is helps pull my tibia back, allowing me to create some extra gapping room inside the front of the ankle. And it's very effective. You know, I've tested it a bunch of times, and it makes a really, really big difference. So spend some time there. And then the last but not least, opening up the front rack, stretching out the tricep, getting that upper chest to kind of open up a little bit, the armpit area, because this is another tough part. People always have trouble with the forearms, but even if your forearms are tight, you can get like 1 or 2 fingers underneath there and still keep a good front rack. And then I'll kind of bring my elbow out a little bit to kind of emphasize a little bit of external rotation stretch, so that way when I'm in position, I can keep my elbows up higher, and I can stay nice and tight in the front rack. So front squats have been very valuable for me, and what I found is even though that I've been having trouble with a high bar or low bar back squats because of elbow pain, I found that the front squats, my front squats have been getting really, really good, and I've been working on every single week. And I suspect that once I go back, when I'm able to start going to heavy back squats again, I'm going to be much stronger, or I'm going to have very small amount of strength lost. So if there's anything you take away from this video, if you hate front squats, you know, I suggest you give them a try. You fit them into your workout program, and a lot of time you don't really have to treat them as like a workout like you would for the squat, bench, and deadlift. You just fit it in as a way of building skill. You fit like maybe 3 sets of 10, maybe, or better yet, if you have trouble with flexibility like I do, you do 10 sets of 2. You know, because you want to practice positioning yourself into that front rack position, because it's ridiculously uncomfortable. It's still uncomfortable for me, but once you are able to kind of build that skill, it's very gratifying. So anyways, leave a comment below if any of these stuff helps you, or if you already use these things. Let me know what else you do to kind of get ready for front squats, and I'll see you guys on the next video.